Hello everybody, this is Lilla in rainy Hawaii. I'm sure you can hear the patter of the rain outside the window, and the birds are awfully quiet. They're all hiding somewhere. Anyway, I've been making some flowers for a project, and these are a type, an old-fashioned flower actually from the 30s. I don't see it very often, and I'm not sure if you know how to do it or have made these before, but anyway, it's called a double ruffled rose. And the good thing about it is you can shape it into all sorts of shapes by squishing it and maiming it and doing all sorts of things. You can even push out the center and make it sort of taller. You could push it the other way, make it concave, just whatever. Anyway, I'm going to make one just to show you, and I've got some organza, or chiffon actually, pink chiffon, and it's about 2 inches wide and a yard long. So 1.5 to 2 inches wide, and what you do is you simply run a gathering stitch. You run a gathering stitch down both sides of the piece, and I like to put. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. So it's gathered on both sides. Now, depending on the fabric, it will gather differently, and it's supposed to be gathered the same equal on both sides. And if it's not, well then just pull one side and gather it. And I think the rule of thumb, well, it depends on how full you want your rose to be actually, but I think about 2/3 shorter. In other words, 1/3 of the original length. So since this was 3 feet, perhaps to 2 feet, I'm doing it a little more than that. This is a little more gathered. Okay, so I've got it gathered to, let me check the length here. It's actually 12 inches, so that's 1/3 of the length. That is correct. Okay, now tie a knot one end, so the opposite end to where I was pulling those gathers would be a good thing to do. So I'm going to just tie a knot, gather both together, and tie a knot. And that's the center. Now the next thing is to meet those two gathered edges. And don't worry about the threads, you'll trim those later. And as you're gathering or pushing the edges together and twisting it, you're going to put your thumb inside to push those gathers out. So I usually start to do it, and then as I go along, I put my thumb in and pull those edges together. So you do that. And then you start winding. So here I go. Winding, and I'm winding again, pushing my thumb in, and winding. Oh my. It's got a mind of its own. Chiffon is not the easiest to work with, but I thought a chiffon flower because the others were different materials. The creamy one I made from silk, but the green one, guess what that was made from? Okay, it was 1.5 inch green wide ribbon. And since wide ribbon has, usually anyway, the wire on both sides, I just pulled those up, and that was it. Okay, almost to the end. Okay, so somehow or other I've lost my center. Okay, so now I'm not going to take time, but what you would do next is you'll stitch it. Okay, I'm going to wind that again because the camera fell down on it. Anyway, I'm not going to take time to stitch it because that would be the way you would proceed. You could add drops of glue, of course. I think I do need to cut off these strings that are bothering me. we go. Once you've wound it, it's kind of a simple matter to rewind it. Okay, here we go. Now I've already had my thumb in it. This is my second attempt at keeping it together. Really, I would stitch it as I go, but I don't want to take time today because it's busy. And I thought, well, while I've got this thread in the sewing machine, I'll just show you how I do it. Okay, so that's that. Then turn it over. This is what the back looks like. And I'll put a couple of pins till I have time to stitch it. And of course you can play with it. You can do all kinds of things with it. I kind of like some of the stitching to show. There. You can do that. You can put a center, you can put stamen in the center. Also, many times when I've made this, I have tucked little pieces of fiber in the sides there too. And this looks very nice with a handmade velvet leaf or leaf made of something else. Anyway, that's 3 of those. And I'll just bring this closer so you can see them. So that's the double ruffle rose. Thanks for watching.